Some facts
That's
that could one day
insane.
save your life. If you ever see this tiny white spot on your bananas, watch out. This means there's a spider infestation, so make sure you throw those bananas out right away. And if you're
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys, man. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. I just want to thank all my supporters, man, who's coming back to the channel each and every single day, watching the videos entirely, man, commenting down below. Most importantly, hitting that thumbs up button on each and every single video drop. You guys are helping growing the community. I greatly appreciate the support. Found this video for you guys today, man. Let's do best, seekers. Stay away from y'all. Y'all know what we do. We do it every day. Seek the truth.
Duendes. Deep in Mexican folklore, duendes are commonly spoken about, from tales that involve these small creatures giving gold coins to people in exchange for goods. But there are also old tales involving a more sinister ending. In 1931, a young man in his 20s named Sancho was out mushroom picking deep within the Oaxaca rainforest when suddenly he finds himself face to face with a small-sized village. It is then apparent to him that there are hundreds of these duende beings. They spoke to him as a friend, cracking jokes with him, giving him alcohol and gold coins. When Sancho decided it was time to go, he realized that he had lost a significant amount of time. When he got back to his village, nothing was the same. In fact, he did not recognize anyone. Upon further inspection, he realized he had been missing for 76 years. His last memories were of these duende creatures putting him in a trance and pressuring him inside a portal.
The one days, man, they kind of sound like leprechauns, bro. They got the gold coins. They small. I wonder if that's where leprechauns originated from, man. Yeah, those are some important questions, bro.
How many of you have heard of the urban legend of El Charro Negro? So the story of El Charro Negro is Mexican folklore, but people who have spotted shadows of El Charro Negro swear that there's truth to the story. So the story takes us to the early 1900s in a small town called San Juan de los Lagos in Mexico. And that's where we meet a man named Juan. He was said to have been a miner in a rural area with a young family. After a long day at the mines, him and a group of friends went to a local cantina to have some drinks. And in the middle of their drunken conversation, he said to his friends that life is very unfair and that he would do anything or give anything to be rich and powerful. And that's when a man dressed in all black entered the cantina. And he slowly approached Juan's table and whispered in his ear and said, "If you want this, then you can really have it." Creeped out about the entire thing, Juan's friends immediately left the table, but Juan was hypnotized by this man in black. The man in black then told Juan to go to a local mine known as the Coyote Cave. And because Juan was apparently so drunk, he just nodded in agreement and went to this cave. Juan waited and waited, but nothing happened. And just as Juan was about to leave, he turned and noticed a very large snake staring at him. He approached the snake and took it back with him, thinking that he could probably sell it for a fortune because of its abnormal size. When he got back to his home, he locked the snake in a dry hole and covered it with some wooden boards so it wouldn't escape. When Juan went to sleep, he was said to have had a very strange dream. And in the dream was the snake, except this time it could talk. And it said to him, "Thank you for giving me your home and for letting me enter your soul." It then told him that he would find payment for his soul in his barn the following morning. And if he were to accept the payment, then he would also owe the snake his firstborn son. When Juan woke up in the morning, he went to the barn, and of course there were bags and bags of gold coins.
Ooh.
When he went to go tell his wife, she was absolutely hysterical because their firstborn son was missing. And when he went to go check on the snake, he removed all the boards, and to their horror, that's where they found their son's lifeless body, and the snake was gone. However, Juan was immediately distracted by the amount of money he now had, and from there he ended up buying a large piece of land and built a farm. He was also apparently seen around town showing off all of his new money. But years later, the snake appeared one more time and asked for the life of his second son. to which Juan agreed in exchange for even more money. After that, Juan's wife left him and he was said to have had many girlfriends throughout the village, and this resulted in many more sons in order for him to exchange for more money. And apparently he kept doing this up until the day he passed. And at his funeral, apparently the man in black reappeared, presumably to take Juan's soul with him back to hell. And ever since then, El Charro Negro appears in the streets at...
My man was selling his soul, bro. He didn't even know he sold his soul, and he sold all of his son's souls. Just for some gold coins, man. I'm telling you, bro. I said it before, I say it again, man. Money is the root of all evil. Like, he was really out selling. It was like it was a transaction. His son for gold. And like, he kept just doing it over and over again. It was just like a loop. Terrifying folklore, man.
So, fun fact, Intruders are described to be a type of witch that can transform into an owl, and in some versions even keep their humanistic nature. I don't know why they would do that, but whatever. Interesting enough, Intruder means owl in Spanish. However, they can't stay in the form of an owl or a bird forever and unfortunately look like your worst nightmare. But with these disguises, they can sneak up on anyone, bewitching them or killing them right then and there. It's become a common practice to tell children about La Lechuza so they don't go out at night alone. Supposedly, someone did catch La Lechuza, and after a couple of days, the owl started looking less like an owl and started looking more like a human woman. And voila, La Lechuza! Yes, this monster is extremely underrated.
It was vibing out, bro.
We were going to New Mexico to talk about El Lobizón, the Wolfman. So in New Mexico, there's a city called Raton, known as Rat. And it got its name because when the settlers moved in, there were a lot of freaking rats. And eventually they exterminated all the rats. But that's when their real problem began. Something very big started digging up bodies at the cemetery and eating them. So the citizens poured concrete over the coffins. But then something started eating the farm animals. So they built bigger fences and started keeping guard stations to protect the animals. And then one night, something broke into someone's home and ate an entire family. And throughout this whole time, people had seen this monster. They had initially thought it was just a giant rat. But then one day, someone saw it stand up on its hind legs and talk to itself. And because it was only ever spotted at night and never during the day, they called it El Lobizón, the Wolfman. And I know, it's not a wolfman, it's a rat man, but whatever. And surprisingly, actually stronger than a werewolf. Someone saw it decapitate a bear with one swing of its claw. Someone else saw it pick up a grown horse and carry it off. Its teeth are sharp enough to chew through solid rock, and it's bulletproof. And if you're waiting for me to say how it was defeated, keep waiting, because it wasn't. Never found it, never killed it, still alive today. Welcome to Latin America. We don't have happy endings in our folk tales. Have a magical day, everyone.
This family from
The Wolfman, like I said, that was not no damn Wolfman. That was the Rat Man, bro. Rat Man origins. And they said it's still going to this day. It could still be out there, man. Who knows?
Mexico was able to record this terrifying video of this girl after she was acting extremely strange. This was after the family did some research. They found out the girl was playing the Ouija board. Here is the video. Pay close attention.
Stay away from that Ouija board, y'all.
Simón, le bajas al baño, ¿eh?
She in the bathroom? Okay, they was out, man. They just saw her stand with a blank face like that. The whole family freaked out and just left her. What the heck? I'm trying to tell you, man, that Ouija board, man, that's just like bringing weird energy, weird vibes into your life, man. That's why I stay away from those type of board games. Nope. The most I've ever seen it, man, is when I be watching these clips together with you guys and people be playing it. That's the closest I'll ever get to, I guess, to officially, man, to being even close near to that game. Stay away.
Scariest folklore from around the world. Part 2. The Charro Negro is a tall, elegant man who wears an all-black suit who wanders the streets of Mexico and local cemeteries. The Charro appears at dusk in streets and lonely sidewalks, always looking for a pedestrian to whom to offer gold coins, which he takes out of a small bag that he always carries around his waist. Many say he is the ghost of a rich rancher, while others say he is the devil himself.
Version of folklore from that. So that was the different version.
Cases. Oh my gosh, bro. Why do you always bring up the cases, bro? This happened in Mexico too. It always happens in Mexico. Yeah, bro. There's this kindergarten class who, on every Monday, they would go outside and march for the flag, the national anthem and stuff like that, for the Mexican flag. And they would do it in the street. And the reason why they would do it in the street is because their school or their class doesn't have a patio for them to do it at, so they have to do it on the street. And they do have permission to do it there too. There was this one time in 2002, regular routine of them marching outside for the flag. A guy shows up who also happens to be a neighbor for the class in school or whatever. So he pulls up and he's annoyed because they're blocking the street. He was either coming back from work or he was on his way to go to work. He was telling the teacher, it's either you move or I'm gonna kill you. He goes back in his car, he backs up, and then he just presses on the gas. He runs over the principal, a teacher, a parent, and 20 children. Killing 2 children between the ages of 4 and 5. There was people outside recording the event. So he gets out. Cuts to like the interviews of like the parents and stuff like that. I do remember seeing a parent say how he doesn't have a permit and there's room for him to go around. So I don't know what was the point of him doing that. And they also had interviewed him too. It seemed like he had no remorse over the whole situation. He was kind of blaming the teacher, saying like it's the teacher's fault this happened. And it just makes it worse the fact that he had space and the whole shit could have been avoided. He didn't have to do all that shit. He didn't have to kill anybody. He didn't have to injure anybody, bro.
You just spitting facts at the end, man. That was just.
I looked at the wall. See G right there. El Jalisco Nueva. I don't want to say that too loud, but it stands for that right there, right? They had it all tagged up, my boy. They had it all on the wall, all tagged up. And I was like, fool, in my head, I was like, imagine what these fools that own the building feel like. They're like, fool, if we erase this, we just made instant ops. And so that tagging right there, fool, he has to leave it. He don't have no other option, fool. You erase that, fool, you just made enemies. Now, if he keeps it, the enemy ops can come and be like, oh, who owns this? Boom. Now all of a sudden, you got ops no matter what now. These fools gave you ops. They gave you ops. They handed them to you. You say, here. You didn't want them, but here. Now you have them, my boy. So that picture right there, showing the stuff, my boy, that goes down over here. This is stuff that's impreventable. Stuff that, my boy, that I wish was different, but I can't change it, fool. I can't change it.
Man, instant ops? That's a different type of beef, man. Like you said, if he erased the mark, I guess, off his building, then that would mean, oh, you don't mess with them, so they're going to come after you. But if you leave it up, then they ops are going to become your ops. So it's like you're in a no-win situation. So your beef is now their beef. That's what like with the Jake and Kendrick beef, man. It's like everybody had to pick a side. There was no on the fence to be like, oh, I want to stay out of it. No, it's like either you're on the Kendrick side or Drake's side. You got to pick. It was no in between.
The terrifying story of Debanhi Escobar. Debanhi was an 18-year-old law student in Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico. On April 8, 2022, Debanhi attended a party at the Quinta Diamante in General Escobedo with 2 friends. Her friends reported Debanhi acting very strange throughout the whole night, up to the point that around 3 a.m., the friends called a taxi to take her home. According to the taxi driver, Debanhi was asking very strange questions and was very angry. but it is rumored that the driver was paid by the two friends to take Debanhi to a different location. When Debanhi was aware of this, she decided to step out of the car abruptly. The driver was unable to get her back inside the car, so he ended up taking a photo of her. This image became viral in the internet. This photo shows Debanhi standing alone on a highway going to Villa Nuevo Laredo. After this, security cameras show Debanhi going to Alcosa. This is a transportation company in Mexico. She went there around 4:30 asking for help, but the location was closed. Another camera later recorded her walking to Nueva Castilla Motel. It is here that the 18-year-old never came back out. 13 days later, the body of Debanhi Escobar was found in the water tank of the hotel. After a second analysis of the body by Escobar's father, revealed the body had sexual and physical abuse. The cause of her death was deep cranial contusion.
This is a sad case, man.
My dad had said that one time it was late. It was like on a Friday night. He said he went right after school. He went to church because they had like service and everything. And the church from the house is not that far. It's probably like less than 10 minutes away. He walks out of the church and he's walking. He feels like a presence looking at him. So he's looking around. There's no one outside. Everyone's still inside the service. And he starts hearing something. He's like, "Bro, what is that?" He said he looked up and it was a black shadow just following him.
On the roof.
Kind of like Jeepers Creepers type stuff.
Ooh.
Like following him. He was like, "Oh, heck no." He said he ran all the way to the house. He started knocking on the door. He's like, let me in, let me in, let me in. And he said he just got in the house. I swear something was following me. He said that. He just looked up and it was like a black shadow, like Jeepers Creepers type stuff.
But I remember in the documentary, a lot of the old folks that we interviewed, they said back in the day there was no light. Like they didn't have, now they have now like street light, but they said back in the day it was super pitch black. And I remember they're saying that a lot of the stuff they saw was in pure fucking darkness. And I can picture your dad looking up and seeing that shit in the fucking darkness and running home.
Is his mom playing tricks on him, man? There's pure darkness. They couldn't see you go.
You won't believe these jobs actually exist. Naming movies at Pixar. For this job, all you have to do is name Pixar's new movies, and you can get paid up to $700,000 to do this. And apparently a woman that had this job got a $300,000 bonus for naming the movie Cars. Professional sleepers get paid up to $100,000 a year just to sleep. They do this for scientists to analyze their sleeping patterns or to test mattresses for hotels. An underwater hotel in the Florida Keys has an underwater pizza delivery man whose job is to deliver pizza to the hotel guests 21 feet below sea level. People completing surveys from their phones are now earning hundreds if not thousands a month. On the Mahola app, you can earn not only by taking surveys but even reaching certain levels on mobile games. Mahola pays a $1 welcome bonus and you can cash out at just $3. If you want to start doing this yourself, download Mahola on the App Store or Google Play.
Here's some crazy
Easy
things
money
happening
everywhere.
in the world right now. 5 guys were arrested for fighting at Five Guys. Amazon delivered a package to Mandy Moore's burnt down house after the wildfires in LA. KFC is moving their headquarters from Kentucky to Texas. The son of a billionaire rented out Asia's biggest nightclub with a DJ so that he could deal with his breakup. The company Igloo is recalling over 1 million coolers because a faulty handle has been amputating fingertips. A woman gave a psychic $50,000 to help her fall in love, and now she wants a refund. An opossum was hospitalized after eating an entire Costco cake. I get it. A Minnesota man tried to put out a Boy Scout cabin fire with beer. Now he's being charged with arson. Kid Rock walked off stage mid-show in Nashville because the crowd wouldn't clap. Please clap. A man was swallowed by a whale and lived. A tourist lost both hands after a shark bit them off while she was trying to take a selfie. A daycare worker put a 4-year-old in a trash can because he refused to take a nap. Changes in Earth's magnetic field are triggering sea turtles to dance. Police found $50,000 worth of stolen Pokemon cards in an Australian home. A dad was charged with assault for shoving 2 child referees at a hockey game. And that's it.
Here are some facts that
That's
could one
insane.
day save your life. If you ever see this tiny white spot on your bananas, watch out. This means there's a spider infestation, so make sure you throw those bananas out right away. And if you're ever out in the wilderness and have nothing to eat, dandelions are actually fully edible. If you ever take a picture with flash on and you notice a white dot on your pupil, you need to head to the doctor immediately because this could be a sign of disease. And if your drink ever smells like cinnamon, do not drink it. People actually use that as a tactic to cover up the smell of poison.
Whatever you do, do not
Okay.
look into her eyes.
Nothing's happening. I'm still good. No noticing the change of expression on her face. Oh, I see now when you look at her eyes, it changes bit by bit. She look like she going crazy. What the? Is this like an optical illusion? That's what I'm guessing. Yeah, that definitely was an optical illusion. Playing tricks on us. Crazy to think about our mind could just trick us like that.
The Most Evil Kids Ever, Part 1. At only 8 years old, Armajit Sada is the youngest known serial killer in the entire world. The young Indian boy was accused of murdering 3 babies.
Phase, you can survive SCP-096, or the Shy Guy. The Shy Guy is a malicious humanoid entity currently being contained by the mysterious SCP Foundation in an undisclosed location somewhere around the globe. The first rule you'll want to follow, if you want to avoid an encounter with this entity, is to never look it directly in its face or at a photograph of its face, as this will immediately cause it to start hunting you down no matter where you are, with the intention of ending your life, and it won't stop until the job is done. If, for some reason, you can't avoid looking at SCP-096 in its face, the second rule will come into play. Run. Run very fast, and don't stop running. Ever. There are virtually 0 weapons that can damage this creature, so your best option is to buy yourself some time while the SCP Foundation works on a solution to containing it. Finally, you'll want to look for isolated and hard-to-reach places to hide in. This includes airplanes, islands, etc. Basically anything that will put a large amount of distance between you and the Shy Guy. Tag a friend if you're watching this alone, and follow for more.
Noted, stay away from the Shy Guy, man.
Body warning signs you should never ignore. If you heard this ringing noise in your ear, that is a sign that you are lacking vitamin B12. If you're always thirsty and feel like you can't drink enough water, you may want to get checked for diabetes. It could be nothing but low insulin causing you to pee more, which then causes you to drink more water. If your hair is starting to get thin, this could be a sign your body not producing enough hemoglobin, so you should need to eat more foods that are rich in iron. If you're getting random bruises and you have no clue where they came from, this is a sign that you have an iron deficiency, so try to eat more foods with vitamin K and zinc-enriched foods. If a person always feels cold all the time, even in hot weather, that means the person has a thyroid problem and may need to see a doctor.
These are some extremely
Facts for saving
unsettling
life.
facts, and I found all. Anyways, I know hearing these cannot be easy, but that's why.
Damn, we didn't even get to hear those facts, man. I'll have to find those for you guys, so always stay up to date. You know what that is.
Normal looking photos that have a disturbing backstory, part 17. This is YouTuber Sarah Funk, who is vlogging her trip to Cyprus's Red Lake. The suitcase in the water was actually discovered to contain the body of a 12-year-old girl who was murdered by a serial killer. At $1.5 million, this is one of the most valuable violins in the world. The initials WH stand for Wallace Hartley, who was the lead violinist aboard the Titanic. This was the instrument he played the night the ship sank before Wallace himself died. This is Jimmy Seville, a famous DJ who was even knighted by the Queen of England. However, he was a pedophile who raped over 300 children at the hospitals he ran, and he even raped their dead bodies. A couple was staying at an underwater cabin at the Manta Resort. This photo shows Steven proposing to his girlfriend through the cabin window. She said yes, but when she waited for her fiancé to return, he never made it out of the water and drowned.
So
we
sad.
need to talk about pedophile symbols in children's movies and books for a second. So these are symbols that the FBI in the past has claimed that pedophiles use to communicate with each other. This is a known thing, and there are actually people who belong to these groups who have come out and stated that yes, these groups do align with these symbols. So take a good look, especially up here to the left. So these are some screenshots from the children's film Alina of Avalor. Do you notice any symbols right here on one of the characters? Well, some of the other symbols from that sheet are found on another one of the characters in the film. Then there's the movie The Mighty Ducks, where one of the characters' helmets not only has one of those symbols, it actually has both of them. Same character, same helmet. I mean, that's pretty strange, right? There's also the film The Flight of the Navigator, where you can clearly see this same symbol being used again and again throughout the film. And these same symbols can also be found on diapers, you can see them clearly right there, on CDs that are clearly produced for and marketed towards children, interactive books made for children like these, and they can even be observed as far back as in Pinocchio. So, what do you think? Is this all just one big coincidence? Are these commonly used symbols? Or are these symbols seen in children's films and media for a reason? I don't know, maybe it was an animator that had certain proclivities themselves that wanted to brag to people that would recognize this that they had gotten away with getting a job working near children. Or maybe it's all just a coincidence.
This is the reason
What do
why
you
you should
think?
never travel late night in the southern part of the United States. A group of bikers were going through these mountains when they were able to spot this creature. The creature was going side by side, alerting the bikers not to get any closer. Many people have claimed seeing skinwalkers through this little trail before, but the bikers decided to take this path anyways. Skinwalkers are extremely popular in the Navajo culture, and they can transform into different things like owls, wolves, and different creatures to travel late night. What a terrifying situation for these bikers.
Stay away from skinwalkers, you guys.
So you probably have questions. I may have answers. Anyway, this is the Bodo, aka the Amazon River Dolphin, aka a sentient hot dog that got left in a microwave of life too long. A flipper paralysis demon if I've ever seen one. See, now what had happened was, scientists studied these river pigs for over 200 hours, and there were 36 separate times where one decided to become a sentient sprinkler for apparently no reason. Questionable use of free will, and scientists hit a mental roadblock trying to figure out the why. Here's my guess. Fun fact, dolphins can recognize each other by using their version of names. It's pretty cool. They can also recognize each other by tasting urine, so they got that two-factor authentication going. That's not a joke. Scientists watch dolphins carefully listen to the sounds of whistles and consolidate that by sampling their south shower before giving them the "how the heck are ya?" Another thing is that nature's forgotten bubblegum isn't blind, but with the murky river water they live in, they might as well be. So senses like smell and taste carry the team. And the last thing is that male dolphins form lifelong alliances where they help each other get laid, and being on our smelly timing is how they prove their identity. It's not really that crazy. Animals like lions spray to mark their territory. Giraffes will taste bladder product to see if a female's ready. And porcupines will really gift a golden shower to let the lady know he's on timing. So that's my guess. Or they could just be playing, cause the way those males and alliances bond is something I can't talk about on here. Not so shameless plug, but nah, for real. Goblins is probably already gonna spank me for showing that video. So if you're curious, you wanna know what I'm talking about, there you go. The more you know.
Seemingly normal photos with disturbing backstories, part 1. This photo shows Apollo 1 astronauts praying as a joke, and not a single one of them returned back to Earth. This is a photo of a man smiling in the trenches during the war, but he wasn't smiling because he was happy. He was smiling due to shell shock and borderline insanity. This just looks like 3 girls taking a selfie, but the light in the background is actually a train which hits and ends all their lives just seconds later.
People, man, would try to do anything for a selfie.
3
Just a
facts that
picture.
can save your life, part 6. If you ever find yourself stranded on a beach somewhere, try and stay as dry and warm as possible, gathering supplies before it gets dark, to of course make a fire. People don't realize that as soon as the sun goes down, it gets extremely cold on those waterfronts, and you can more or less die of hypothermia actually pretty quickly. If you ever find yourself hiking in needing of water, don't ever eat the snow. Eating the extremely cold snow while being extremely cold can actually give your body internal hypothermia, unaliving you actually pretty fast. If you're ever walking to your car and it's extremely dark outside, make sure you have your keys in your hand. If an intruder or someone comes near you to bother you, you can sound the alarm of your car, more or less scaring them off, or getting at least somebody else's attention. Like and follow for more.
Those facts. Write them down.
These are some facts that could save your life one day. If you've been stabbed or punctured by a sharp object, your immediate thought's probably going to be, I need to get this out of my body right now. But unfortunately, that's the last thing you want to do. When you get stabbed by an object, it actually is used as a plug to stop the bleeding from happening. And if you take it out, you're going to start pouring blood everywhere, you're going to lose more blood, and you'll die. This is a pretty simple one that I've talked about before, but if you ever are at the beach and you hear a roaring sound, the ground starts to shake, or you notice the water starting to recede from the shore very quickly and a lot farther than normal, run for your life to high ground. This is because these are all the telltale signs that a tsunami is headed directly for you. And yeah, you're just not going to make it out of that if you stay on the beach. And this is perhaps the most important one that I have. If you're ever traveling abroad or you're not in your home country, most places, especially over in Europe, you can use your phone and dial 112. This will automatically connect you to the nearest emergency service and they'll get you the help that you need. Also, even if you don't have phone service, you can dial 911 in America and it will still contact you through to a dispatcher. Look, I'm just trying to help you out over here today, alright? And that's why
112. Okay, so that's basically the 911 over in Europe. Putting that in my memory bank, man, when I travel one day, so thankful for that fact. We learn it every single time I watch the clips together with you guys, man. I always
For the
learn
first
something
time
new.
ever, a wild animal has been observed using a medicinal plant to treat a wound. So scientists just observed an orangutan in the wild doing something no other wild animal has ever been seen doing. You see, apparently this orangutan got into a little scuffle, and this scuffle caused the orangutan to get a wound below its eye. After getting this wound, scientists observed the orangutan chewing up a plant that is not normally part of its diet, and after chewing this plant, the orangutan would take the chewed paste and apply it to its wound below its eye. Now, the orangutan doing this was no random coincidence, because as it turns out, the plant that it was chewing did indeed have medicinal values. Now, because the orangutan decided to use this plant to treat its wound, the wound closed up after about a month, and the orangutan never got any kind of infection from the wound. Now that this has been observed in the wild, scientists are trying to figure something else out. They're trying to figure out if all orangutans know about these healing plants and are taught about the plants from other orangutans as they grow up, or if this is just some sort of animal instinct that the orangutans just automatically know when they're born.
Here's some facts though definitely.
Interesting, they're
If you
evolving.
ever live alone and you hear footsteps upstairs your house while you're downstairs, they already know you're there. Most house intruders aren't random. They've already been watching you. If you ever hear movements upstairs while you're alone, their plan is already in motion. Leave your house as fast as you can and as quietly as you can, and only confront when trapped. If a stranger asks you, do you live alone? Always lie. Always reply to that question with, oh, I live with parents, or my roommate's home, or my boyfriend's coming home soon. This can immediately dissuade predators targeting solo victims. If you ever find a door ajar in your home and you didn't leave it that way, back away immediately. Intruders sometimes leave doors open, no matter how slightly they are, as a trap. Walking into that room, especially if that room has no form of escape like windows, makes you extremely vulnerable. Leave immediately and call the police, even if this means finding out there's no intruder in the process. And finally, if you're ever being chased, never run in a straight line. Run in a zigzag or any other pattern. Zigzagging can make it harder for a pursuer to predict their path, especially if they're armed or driving. As you continue running that way, always try to run in crowds or areas with light or noise. Stay safe.
Creepy. I've always wondered that, man. I've been seeing that. Like, have you ever seen that in movies or sometimes where, you know, person getting chased, or, you know, they getting, like I said, that person's arm, but they just run in a straight line? I'm thinking, I'm like, if you at least, like I said, zigzag, run in different directions, it makes them harder for you to hit them. So that always crossed my mind why people never did that. Maybe in this situation, man, you just not thinking.
Home camera footage. In 2017, a mother in Billings, Montana woke up in the middle of the night to a notification on her phone. Her phone was synced to a baby monitor she had set up in her infant daughter's room. On this night, upon being alerted, she opened the app expecting to see her daughter awake in the crib. But instead she saw this. A man she didn't know is seen crouched down in the room. She saw this and ran to the room to retrieve her daughter and run out the house. She didn't see anyone in the room but wasn't exactly looking. When she called the cops, they arrived and conducted a search of the home but didn't find anything. A very odd detail is that it was found that nothing but the remote to a dog show collar was stolen from the house. Who this man is and how he got in the house is still unknown.
That's one of, like I said, one of the most scariest things, man. Somebody's in your house and you have no idea. Like, your house is supposed to be your sanctuary, your resting place, and somebody just invade your privacy like that, it can really rattle you. And that guy was in the daughter room. She didn't have no time to think. She just had to scoop her daughter and go. And the dog collar, shot collar was missing. Weird story.
On March 5th, 1974, 17-year-old Amy Billick vanished while hitchhiking to her dad's office in Coconut Grove, Florida. A few days later, 16-year-old twins who lived in the neighborhood claimed they kidnapped Amy and wanted $30,000, but police discovered this was a hoax and the case went cold. But Amy's mom, Susan, never gave up. She traveled the country chasing down leads. However, soon she started receiving harassing phone calls from a man claiming to have Amy. This went on for 21 years until one day the caller accidentally used his cell phone instead of a payphone, allowing it to be traced back to Henry Blair, a man who had become obsessed with the case but had no connection to Amy, so her disappearance remains unsolved.
So he just tormented the family because he was obsessed with the case, man. People can truly be monsters sometimes. It never fails. You know what that is.
A convenience store in Japan was getting robbed so often that the owner came up with a genius plan to stop thieves using only these orange balls. See, the convenience store was in the busy city of Yokohama, which gave thieves a huge advantage, because all they had to do was quickly grab what they wanted to steal, then run out to the street where they quickly blended in. To make matters worse, most of them just had a getaway car ready to go, which made it nearly impossible for police to identify them when they drove off. But instead of trying to lock everything in the store behind bars, this store owner simply placed a basket of what seemed like harmless rubber balls near the cash register. Soon, a thief grabbed some items before running out to his getaway car, but before he could drive away, the store owner threw one of the orange balls at the car. The moment it made contact, it split open, launching neon orange paint all over the car. He then called police, who easily tracked down the car before arresting the thieves. Since then, these orange balls have become a very popular anti-theft tools found in thousands of stores across Japan. Employees even undergo specialized training to throw the balls more accurately at thieves so police could track them down.
This man built a memorial to Adolf Hitler in Wisconsin. And yes, he was a real ex-Yahtzee soldier. So this is Theodore Junker outside of his memorial, holding a photograph of himself when he was enlisted in the SS. You see, Theodore after World War II had come over to America. And when he got over to America, he decided that America had gotten it all wrong. Just take a look right here at one of the signs inside of his shrine. Adolf did not start World War II. Not one person was gassed to death. He respected all races. Oh, and he protected Paris. This museum that he had set up was a whole shrine, and he was incredibly proud of it. There was tons of controversy in this small town in Wisconsin, and they said he couldn't open it up, but he did anyways. And the whole thing was giving praise to the Yahtzees and their leader. And the whole thing, you can still Google pictures of it, was incredibly bizarre and disturbing. Now, eventually Theodore would die in the year 2013, and shortly afterwards his property went abandoned. And for years, this entire thing sat out in the woods in Wisconsin deteriorating. A very creepy reminder of a very disturbing past. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You have to pause to read some of these plaques. Now, the site was demolished in 2023, but the pictures will live on forever. And I just could not believe this story. I was actually in Wisconsin and someone told me about the abandoned Yahtzee museum in the woods, and I didn't believe them until I Googled it and figured out that it is very real.
So this TikToker, let's call her Spirit. One day she's in bed and she starts seeing these creatures and they start talking to her. Now Spirit is 14 years old, she's a good kid, she goes to private school, she's class president, and she also makes a lot of TikToks. Mostly just dancing and lip syncing videos. Spirit also has an older sister. Let's just call her Angel. Angel's 19 and she has cerebral palsy and she uses a wheelchair. And when Spirit and Angel hang out, Spirit sings her songs and reads to her. They seem to be happy. But over time, Spirit's TikToks start to change. They get a little darker, kind of an emo vibe, because she's being bullied at school. She's becoming depressed. She also also thinks she might be trans, but it isn't clear. And so Spirit retreats more and more into the horror movies she likes, and she starts to have dark, intrusive thoughts. And one day, Spirit has a normal day. She goes to school, she gets home, she posts a TikTok, and bedtime comes and she goes to bed and everyone in the house is asleep. And that is when she's approached by these creatures. And I don't know what to call them, so we'll just call them demons. And these demons, they start speaking to her. Now, Spirit doesn't like this. It scares her. She doesn't know what to do. Then the demons start bullying her. They're making fun of the way she looks, they're taunting her for maybe being trans, and they allegedly start telling her to hurt herself. So Spirit gets out of bed and she sneaks through the dark and she goes downstairs. She goes to the kitchen and grabs a large kitchen knife, and the demons keep taunting her. So finally, Spirit does the only thing she can think of. She turns the knife on one of the demons, and she stabs it, hoping it'll go away. And she does this over and over again. And eventually she stops, and she looks down and realizes she wasn't stabbing a demon. She had been stabbing her sister, Angel. So Spirit calls 911. Then she goes out into the front yard and waits for the police. Police get there and she straight up admits it. I unalived my sister. So they arrest her and it's a huge deal, and all her TikTok followers are like, what the f***? And eventually, all of this goes to trial. And at the trial, Spirit's attorney argues a version of the story I just told you. That Spirit killed Angel because Spirit was depressed, experiencing hallucinations, which I represented with pictures of demons, but who knows what the hell she was seeing. Now, the prosecuting attorney, on the other hand, they argue that's bull***, that this wasn't because of hallucinations, and that Spirit was obsessed with homicide, and that she would often talk to her friends about unaliving people, and that she shows no remorse in killing her sister. And allegedly, when Spirit was in police custody, an officer's phone rings, and his ringtone is the theme to Halloween, and Spirit jokes, I just Michael Myers to my sister. And then another time while in police custody, police gave her McDonald's, and she said, I would have killed someone sooner if I knew I was getting McDonald's. And so the prosecuting attorneys use all of these things against Spirit in court. However, both prosecution and defense agree that Spirit is mentally unwell. So Spirit is tried as an adult, and eventually she pleads guilty to third-degree murder, and here's her mugshot, and she's in prison now, serving 12 to 40 years. And to this day, we still don't exactly have a clear understanding of why she did it.
Spirit? That was a story that had twists and turns. Is that supposed to be representing, like... Is this supposed to be okay. I'll get my... There we go. Hit the jets. He go. Digging his way to heaven. I have to go cap on the last one. Like that. What was that? It moved. Spawning out of nowhere.
What? Somebody's in the window keeping up. Who's not? We heard a ticking clock. Don't go nowhere. Stay right here.
That's not mysterious at all.
Oh my god, no, fuck that.
She saw.
Guardia fue arrastrado por el fantasma.
You heard that, right?
Esa madre no, mira.
¡Ey! ¡Bájate de ahí!
Cap on the last one. Hey man, these people, bro, need to be more aware of their surroundings, man. So that last one, especially with that girl, she didn't see someone was peeking through a window. Like, sometimes I be noticing, I'm like, how do people not know that, man? Like, I could literally, I said it before, man, I can feel when somebody's, like, watching me, man. I could just get this feeling in the back of my neck when I know somebody's, like, just staring at me. Maybe. Somebody had to be there, right? That looks like a hand. What the f- I don't know who was doing that.
Getting ready for bed when this was captured.
How you doing? You okay?
I don't know.
You a little freaked out?
A little bit.
So, we were just going to bed and we're not...
They doing it on the bed? What the? Getting freaky. It was the door.
Like, we've literally had to put the bag up against the door because we're not sure. And, like, we're literally just...
My advice to them: leave.
Okay, so we're leaving. We got all of our stuff packed. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, we're out here. Rachel's already in the car. I'm leaving. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Smart man.
A woman is a man you can slap but can also stroke.
Going in the wind as a pasty of the truth that it's naked. It's verbatim.
Saw that delay, right?
Came across something that was really cool, and I feel like it sets this house apart. The reason why I'm just not founding his crawl space is because of this drywall.
The owner, she had the drywall covering the crawl space. That's not the cool thing about it. And I want y'all to check this out.
What's away under there?
So, while I was here, I found this table, and I also found this extra space right here. You have a vent.
Money in there?
Right there. I think I just heard some footsteps.
Woo.
This can't be a squatter.
Somebody living there? Something was in that crawl space, man. It wasn't no money, bro. If a squatter was there, man, people working on those houses better be careful. Crawl space, legendary episode of Mullen from Breaking Bad, man. Peak television, bro. Y'all know that reference, man. The comment down below.
The man you can slap but can also stroke.
Going in the wind as a pasty of the kid that is naked. It's verbatim, and it's shaking.
Don't go swimming in Lake Mead, Nevada. Hello, my name is Urban, and I am one of the thousands of victims in Lake Mead, 30 miles away from Las Vegas. This liquidy graveyard was created with intent to store water for the people of Sin City. But with 6 bodies pulled out this year, and declining liquid levels, every day new answers rise to the surface. Like many of the others in the liquid, I was a casino worker during the 40s. I stole from the casino I was working at. Unfortunately, I later discovered it was ran by the mob. They did not tolerate this, and I was put into a barrel and dropped down into the water. When I got down there, I realized I was not alone. Thousands of bodies were hidden under the elusive paradise, as well as the entire town of St. Thomas, and the remains of an ancient Pueblo tribe. Everybody is anxious to get out, and finally let everyone know what happened to them. Our screams can be heard near the liquid at night. So the next time you want to come swim in Lake Mead, remember.
Checking Lake Mead off the list. We would not be swimming in there. Get out. Someone's definitely trying to get in. She just sitting there? Zero survival skills. She has not probably seen any horror movies, bro.
This is the creepiest thing I've ever witnessed in my life. We were exploring an abandoned house, and something was trying to open the door to this room.
doorbell. I don't recommend getting that in your house. Look like he's swimming. What is that?
We went on a camp.
Do you think they really be testing nukes on? Well, just be blowing up nukes on the water, but wouldn't that like decimate the ecosystem, the underwater ecosystem, man? So I don't think they really should be doing that. That could be a different type of testing, man. Dropping sounding like that sound, man. Dropping nukes on the water, that don't even sound right. Who knows, man? In this world, anything's possible.
Camping trip in Wisconsin and never came home. Hello, my name is Irvin, and I am one of the Boy Scouts stuck on Boy Scout Lane, near the town of Stevens Point. My troop and I were on our way to go camping at a property owned by the Boy Scouts of Albania. But on our way out, our group leader crashed the bus into the side of the road, causing it to go up in flames. Most of us got stuck on the bus, but a few of us were able to escape into the trees. But we never made it back to civilization, and now we are stuck on this property, still looking to rejoin each other. Trying everything from leaving markings on the cars in the area, to flashing lanterns and making loud footsteps at night. But we're still alone, and we need your help. If you drive down this road after midnight and turn your car off, we will come find you, so you can help us find each other because
we were just going to bed.
I won't be doing that.
We're not. Let me just show you.
Did he go back?
Like, we've literally had to put the bag up against the door because we're not sure.
Even though there's no draft or air current in the house, the bedroom door begins to randomly move as if it's being quickly pulled back and forth by some unseen force. They decide to just pack up their stuff and leave the house. But this is when things get even creepier.
Okay, so we're leaving. We got all of our stuff back. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, we're out here. Rachel's already in the car. I'm leaving, like, I don't know what's going on.
Smart. Like I said, get out. Backroom vibes.
Go lie down. It's okay. Lie down. Stay. I've been doing this all morning and I don't have time for this today. Stop. Hey, buddy. I got too much going on. You gotta cut it out. Oh, shit. Okay. I'm just gonna set it up. Get the towels. And we'll just let it come roll. I asked you if you gotta go or you gotta come downstairs. Wherever you're gonna go, you gotta go. Calm down. He's okay. Please, not today. Just hold the count.
The dog can sense it.
up with the supposed spirit, Wynn begs the entity to stop, but this only seemed to make things worse, as the door to the basement began to continuously open on its own soon after. It isn't until looking closely at the doorway, however, that someone or something appears.
On August 27th of 2024, the store manager watches footage of something that happened earlier while sounding pretty nervous. He immediately ran to his computer to pull up the video and save it, just in case no one believes him. Something happened as he was unpacking boxes, and he knows that he caught it on camera. In fact, many things happen in this footage, but it's what happens towards the end of the video that terrifies him greatly. Ever since then, he's been watching his back, hoping that it doesn't happen again. The following is the store manager's footage. Watch.
Caught in 4K.
Single night. Let's put things away from the box. Alright, now watch. I want you guys to focus on this area right here. Okay? Hold on, let me speed this up a bit. Alright, watch.
You have the doctor right, and you stow it on a shelf in your closet, and do not pull that doctor out.
Boom, you see that? I'll get back here for you guys to give you a better view.
Yeah, we need to see all the angles.
And I'm just like tripping, like, what? But pay attention to this area right here.
I can preempt the picture.
Watch.
The contain chest medication correctly. But so what? It's not what I asked you.
He's still
Is
there?
that you? Look, I'm here by myself. Nobody's here. It's just me. See that?
That big store by himself? Not for me.
Come on. I'm not afraid of you.
I'll eat.
Is that you? That threw down the box earlier?
I thought that was a bird. Woo. Caught me.
Come on out. You don't scare me.
Trying to face it head on. Respect.
Come on out, puppy.
Oh, you trying to throw hands.
Always trying to mess with me.
What the? Sounds scared there. Caught on 4K again. Yup.
Look, there I am, right there. Look, you see that?
Ooh.
You see that?
He literally just missed it.
No. As if the store manager wasn't already spooked, this happens. Recorded by the camera pointing at the side entrance of the store is this. The manager's hair lifting on its own. Or better put, getting tugged by something unseen. It's the sudden yank on his hair that sends him running in a panic frenzy, making him think that someone was messing with him. But upon watching security footage of this incident, he sees that no one was behind him. If no one was there, then whose forceful pull did he feel? While some viewers believe that this might have been the ghost he was calling out, others don't know what to think. To the manager, however, he knows exactly what this was and believes it's the same entity that's been messing with the store. But of course, I'll let you come up with your own conclusions. Was a ghost caught on camera? Or had something else happened to explain this incident? Let me know what you think down below.
Was that a ghost or could that have been a... Where'd she go?
Listen to how loud and aggressive it is.
For the uninvited for a reason.
Okay.
It's my house. You're surrounded.
After an accident, Jason Padgett was a party animal who hated school and got terrible grades. But one day, two men savagely robbed and attacked Jason outside of a karaoke bar, leaving him with a severe concussion. The concussion caused him to become a mathematical genius and made him learn fractal geometry, which he had never been taught before. When Derek Amato was 39 years old, he hit his head after diving into a swimming pool and was diagnosed with a concussion and 35% hearing loss. After that, Derek began to see black and white keys in his head, and out of nowhere, he began to play the piano like an expert. Ben McMahon was in a car accident in 2015 and fell into a coma for a week. When he woke up, he could speak perfect Chinese even though he had only learned the basics as a child. Tony Surreal was struck by lightning after making a call in a phone booth. Within a couple of days, he was addicted to music, which he wasn't before. After trying the piano, he became a musical artist, composing his own music.
Man, they really getting real out superpowers, bro.
Top 3 urban legends that turned out to be true. Part 1. Number 3. The sewer crocodile. One of the most famous urban legends is about a crocodile living in the city's sewers. While it may sound unbelievable, there have been several cases where crocodiles have been found in sewer systems. For example, in 2010, a young crocodile was discovered in the sewers of New York City, confirming the truth behind this urban legend. Number 2. Spiders and bananas. According to this urban legend, venomous spiders frequently hide in imported banana bunches. This story has proven to be true on multiple occasions. In 2005, a British family found a venomous spider, known as the Brazilian wandering spider, in a bunch of bananas they purchased from a supermarket. This case confirmed that there is some truth to this urban legend. Number 1. The killer. Hiding in the back seat. This urban legend tells the story of a psychopathic killer who hides in the back seat of a person's car and attacks when they are distracted. While it's difficult to find specific cases that exactly match this legend, there have been incidents where dangerous individuals have gained access to the backseat of cars and attacked their occupants. These events have confirmed the importance of being cautious and checking the inside of one's car.
So I found these conspiracy theories that are so believable, they actually might be true.
Talk about it.
Number 1, studies show that cats understand human commands but don't care to follow them. Yeah, I don't like cats. I'm a dog kind of guy. Number 2, it is believed that when you die in a dream, you wake up because your brain doesn't know how to process the idea of what comes after death. Could be. I believe it. Number 3. Now this is scary. The reason Disney came out with a movie called Frozen was so that when you Googled Disney Frozen, you would get information about the movie and not the websites talking about Walt Disney's body being frozen. I mean, I did see an article about this that was published in 1995. Not sure if this is true or not, but I do believe it. This is where it gets freaky. Number 4. Mike Tyson's fight, Time Traveler. This fight was in 1995. If you look closely, you can see that could be a smartphone. In fact, it does look like a smartphone to me. There were no smartphones in 1995. This is how phones used to look like in 1995. They didn't have cameras. They barely had any color. But this thing double flashed exactly like how an iPhone or an Android would take a picture. I don't know about time travel, but this is very interesting. I'd really like to know what this thing was. What's the creepiest conspiracy theory that you heard of?
I think the one that got to me was probably like the time travel joint from Mike Tyson, because he showed us a graphic of those phones. They did not match up at all. I don't know if that could have been like a different version of prototype or something, man, or a different type of camera, but I think that one got to me the most, man. Time travel.
The 3 most dangerous places you should never set foot. Number 3, the Hoia Baciu Forest, located in Romania, is often dubbed the Haunted Forest due to the many paranormal stories reported there. Many visitors have described feelings of anxiety, a sense of being watched, and some even claim to have seen ghostly apparitions. In addition to the inexplicable phenomena, the forest features oddly shaped trees in areas where vegetation doesn't grow at all, heightening its mysterious ambience. Number 2, the Chernobyl zone in Ukraine is the site of the biggest nuclear disaster in history. In 1986, a reactor at the nuclear power plant exploded, releasing significant amounts of radioactive material into the environment. Today, while some parts of the region are open for strictly controlled tours, others remain highly contaminated by radiation and can pose a severe health hazard. It's crucial to adhere to safety guidelines and not stray off marked paths. Number 1, the Valley of the Kings in Egypt, located on the west bank of the Nile near Luxor, is famous for its royal tombs dating back to ancient Egypt. While it's a popular tourist destination, it comes with risks. Beyond natural dangers like extreme heat and the risk of dehydration, there have been speculations and legends about the Pharaoh's curse, where those who disturb the Pharaoh's tombs would be cursed.
This might ruin your
I ain't going there.
But in the movie Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, there's a really dark joke in there that a lot of people missed. In this scene, you can see the presidents of Mount Rushmore getting pied in the face. But pay attention to Abraham Lincoln. Unlike the other presidents, he gets pied in the back of the head, which is exactly how he was assassinated in life.
Oh, what? I never even picked up on that, man. These movies, man, they have hidden messages. When you're a kid, you just don't get it.
What is going on here? This robot is literally serving drinks at a bar at an event recently hosted by Elon Musk.
There you go.
Our robot.
Everybody, take pictures. In my good side, Optimus #1. Robots are the future. How's it going, sir? What can I get you? You want a watermelon? Yeah. I can't convince you to get the robot? Yeah. Okay, I'll get you one. Just kidding.
No.
How's your night going so far? There you go. Ice cold beverage.
Now, this robot created by Elon, which he named Optimus, isn't only capable of serving drinks. Apparently, it can do a lot more. Apparently, Optimus can dance and interact with people, and it can do things around the house, like cleaning, cooking, mowing the lawn, taking out the garbage, walking your dogs, and also babysitting. I'm sorry, but if this robot can actually do all these things, then I don't see how people wouldn't want one. Tesla's vision for Optimus is so that people can integrate this robot in their everyday lives so that it can do things that we don't want to do or things that are just repetitive or dangerous. When I first saw this, I immediately thought about iRobot, which came out in 2004, which is funny because the director of iRobot recently accused Elon of copying his designs for his new Tesla products, and he tweeted this. Now, if you see a side-by-side, you can kind of see a resemblance. It's been said that Optimus would first be used internally at Tesla facilities, and then it will expand its productions for other companies, and then eventually for the general public. So it's possible that you can have one of these in your house by 2027. Now, the price for one of these is around 20 to 30K, and Elon mentioned that he is aiming to make it more affordable so that more people can buy it. But if Optimus can really cook, clean, and do my laundry, take my money, Elon. No, but seriously, would you guys actually drop this much money for this? Let me know.
I'll speak for me. No. No. Like, our robot was the blueprint. Didn't you not see what happened in that movie, man? The side-by-side comparisons, the designs, they too similar to me, bro. We seen how that, man, they trying to rise up against us. No. I will not be getting that Tesla bot. No. I can't do that.
Conspiracy theory claims that the show was inspired by events that happened in a Bulgarian mental facility called La La Land. The children there were isolated from the others and placed in dark rooms. But apparently 4 of those children died on the same day, inspiring the Telletubbies. Lala apparently had facial disfigurement and was isolated for 5 years, and that inspired the Teletubby Lala. Toite was a deaf, facially disfigured kid who was tied to a fence outside and had gotten frostbitten from the cold. This inspired Tinky Winky. Donka, who was starved and was very, very sick, would lay in his own vomit for days, inspired Dipsy. And finally, Paulina, who had fell into a fire and was roasted alive, inspired Poe. But you won't believe the reason they were called the Teletubbies. You see, the children's main source of entertainment in their rooms were their TVs. They were as small as a small iPad. Sometimes when they heard their toys was going to be confiscated, they would hide them in their mouths. And they had just found out that the institution was going to get rid of the TVs. And they didn't want that, and they couldn't hide the TVs in their mouths. So one of them had the great idea to hide them in their stomachs, because that's the only place they could fit. Mind you, these kids are a little bit not all the way there. So they came up with a plan to rip their insides out in order to fit the TVs inside and hide them. They tried it, and the next morning, the caregiver walked in on all 4 children dead.
These are facts about Halloween that I bet
Dark
you didn't
Origins.
know. Up first, Halloween is extremely old. Halloween is thought to have originated in 4000 BC, which means Halloween has been around for more than 6,000 years. This is extremely crazy, and I never knew it was this old. Up next, jack-o'-lanterns are actually named after a stingy man named Jack, who, because he tricked the devil several times, he was forbidden access to heaven and hell. He was then condemned to wander Earth, waving his lantern to lead people away from their paths. Next up is a pretty crazy statistic. Americans alone will buy more than 600 million pounds of candy on Halloween. I don't even know why there is this much candy available to buy. And the crazy thing is, I guarantee all this candy gets eaten.
Man, I didn't know Halloween was that old, bro.
The strangest places in the world, part 1. Firstly, on top of a hill in Pennsylvania, some stones can be found that shouldn't actually be there, because there's no nearby high terrain where they could have originated. These are called the ringing rocks, because whenever something hits these stones, they make a strange ringing noise. Next is the petrifying well in England, where water flows from a rock and turns whatever it touches into stone. As you can see, people often leave items like hats, teddy bears, or even bicycles, which appear to have already been turned into stone. Some people believe there's a mystical power, but the scientific reason behind this is the unusually high mineral content in the water, which forms a hard mineral shell on any object it comes into contact with. And within a few months, everything essentially becomes a stone statue.
This is the power of time. These are the footprints of the monk Ha-Chi. He stood in his temple for so many years that the floorboards warped around his feet. He prays over 3,000 times a day and always stands in the same place. This bronze arm was attached to a tree when it was just a baby. It was attached in 1968 and the tree actually grew around it. And today the arm is permanently attached to the tree. And this is a corner of a bike store that's been around for over 50 years. Customers park there every day and it's been wearing down ever since.
Hell in different religions, part 2.
Time is powerful.
Buddhism. In Buddhism, after you die, you can be reborn into one of the 6 realms of reincarnation. Which realm you'll be put into depends on your actions in your previous life. The lowest realm possible is the realm of Naraka, which is hell. And there are different Narakas you can be put into. It just depends on how bad you were in your previous life. Each of these Narakas having vastly different punishments. And the climates in the different Narakas can range from incredibly cold to boiling hot. But the time spent in Naraka is never eternal. Once you've served your punishment, you'll be reborn once again. but the time one does spend in Naraka can be hundreds of millions of years, or well beyond that.
That long down there? Hundreds of millions of years?
The Muffin Man is actually a serial killer. You know the Muffin Man nursery rhyme, right? But did you know it was based on a dark, true story? 1 second. Chocolate chip. Tastes like your mama wanted. But yeah, the story is darker than you think. Because in the 1800s, there was a man named Frederick Thomas Linwood. And he would wait lurking in alleys, looking for his next victims. And they would always be kids. You see, he would kidnap them and unalive them, luring them in with muffins. I mean, what kid wouldn't want a tasty snack? When the townspeople got word of what was happening, they decided to come together and figure out a way to prevent this, to spread awareness amongst the kids and keep them safe, warning them about the Muffin Man, who was a danger on Drury Lane. You're walking past the alleyway, and the Muffin Man gets you. Your fourth act sees this and tries to rescue you. Let me know who it is, and let me know if you think you'd be doomed or not. Anyways, he's one of the first documented serial killers in the world. And everyone still teaches this song to their kids, even children TV shows. And yet nobody knows that.
The Muffin Man? You know I know the Muffin Man because of Shaq. The Muffin Man? Then I found out that it really was a dark origins. The first documented, you know what, man? Oh, they put this stuff in our medias when we're kids and things, but like I said, we never notice it, man. Once you grow up, bro, you realize your childhood is very different.
You won't believe this little boy actually exists. This boy, Nanyo Sui from China, was born with glowing eyes. People were curious why his eyes glow blue, so they ran a test on him. They put him in pitch black with cards and a note, and he read them perfectly. His eyes seem to have a genetic ability of cats and other nocturnal animals. Scientists have been a little skeptical, but people say he can see in full darkness perfectly, like a superhero.
Damn. You got night vision, bro.
In the year 2067, you'll have to pay for oxygen or suffocate to death. This movie is called 2067 and we have to talk about it. It's set in the future after climate change destroyed all plants on Earth. In Australia, only one city survived. And that's because of a company called Chronocorp Corporation, and they make artificial oxygen. But breathing in this artificial oxygen causes a strange sickness over time. Here's where the main character, Ethan White, comes in. He's a mechanic at the company, but one day everything changes. The leader of the company calls Ethan into their lab and revealed this giant machine. She says Ethan is the only person who can stop humanity from going extinct, and Ethan is confused. Then we see Ethan has like a weird device on his wrist. And we find out 20 years ago his dad put that device on him for an experiment and never told him. Turns out this machine is actually pretty much a time machine. And it sent back a secret message from the future. When they decoded the message, they realized it said, "Send Ethan White." Ethan obviously does not want to go, but his wife is sick from breathing in too much artificial oxygen, so he finally agrees, leaves her a note, and goes into the time machine to be sent to the year 2474. When he gets there, he realizes all the plants have been restored, but no humans are anywhere. Then he finds a locked door with a skeleton in front of it. As he looks closer, he realizes the skeleton is himself. It even has the same wrist device, except the light has turned green. So why did his dad actually put that device on him all those years ago? And why is he the chosen one to save humanity? There's a huge plot twist in the end, and I just thought this story was so interesting. So go watch it and let me know what you think. And follow for more movies and stories.
Should I check that out, man? That actually piqued my interest. I wonder what that plot twist is, man. Any of you seekers actually watched that movie 2067? I'm gonna have to check that out.
3 extremely disturbing facts you won't believe are actually true. Number 3. In a bizarre case, an Ohio man was mistakenly declared dead by the Social Security Administration in 1979. Upon discovering this error in 1994, he immediately initiated legal action to restore his status as a living person. However, a judge refused to overturn the decision, stating that there was a 3-year limit to challenge such a declaration.
What?
As a result, this man is legally living as a deceased person in his own country. Number 2. There's a disturbing practice at the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. The chicks that hatch live in front of visitors in their chick hatching exhibit are then sent to the Brookfield Zoo, where they are fed to predator animals. This is a shocking truth hidden behind a seemingly innocent exhibit. Number 1. Disneyland and Disney World are iconic places, often associated with joyful family memories. However, there's a strange phenomenon that occurs in these parks. People so frequently scatter the ashes of their loved ones there that Disney had to establish a special procedure to deal with it. A dedicated team is ready to intervene as soon as an ash scattering is reported, cleaning up the area to maintain the park's joyful atmosphere.
Here's some facts that'll
That's
instantly
insane.
make you smarter. Part 1. Bananas are not actually fruits, they're herbs. And this is because the stem of the banana is succulent and not wood. Scientists say that it's less likely to rain on a Monday than any other day of the week. Reason is that Mondays carry less pollution over the weekend. If you drop a piece of toast, it'll almost always land butter side down. Try this one out and let me know. And finally, the hardest language for an English speaker to learn is Japanese, Chinese, Arabic, or Korean.
Oh, really?
Scary facts that will make your skin crawl. PT.3. If you're wearing earplugs listening to music, and you hear someone calling you or the door knocking, there is no one calling. It's the ghost informing you of their presence. The inventors of the Ouija board claim it got its name when they asked it what it should be called. They also asked it what Ouija meant, and it replied, "Good luck." If you're walking and you feel someone behind you, it's a ghost looking at you. The human body can feel the presence of ghosts.
I think I felt something like that before, man. When somebody's staring at you, but you can't identify what it is. I feel like a chill down my spine. Is this cap a fact, man? They put a GoPro on a shark. But that is true, man. Like how, isn't it scary how like they said like 80% of our ocean is like undiscovered, or we haven't even like reached the full potential of it yet. So there's things down there that we don't even have no idea what it is. If you think about it, man. Something to think on. We hear that? I'm hitting the jets. I'm out.
Today I learned that if your parent calls you by your sibling's name, it's not because they're playing favorites, but rather it's a cognitive glitch. This misnaming phenomenon is due to our mental semantic network categorizing people into different social groups or relationship ponds, according to a 2016 study published in the Memory and Cognition Journal by Samantha Deffler. When I say spoon, you might think of a fork. Similarly, when a mom calls for her daughter, the concept of her daughter is also linked to her son, so she may accidentally call her daughter by her son's name. It was also found that some family members accidentally call each other by their family's dog's name. Deffler also recalls one young man accidentally calling his girlfriend by his sister's name, to which the girlfriend responded, "That's probably a bad sign." Misnamings also occur phonetically when initial or internal sounds sound the same, like John, Johnny, or Bob, but physical appearance and gender was proven to not be a factor. So next time someone calls you by a different name, don't take it personally, but it does give you a clue that your name belongs to a certain relationship pond in that person's mind. Alright, that's all. This is Shankstep, over and out.
This
Interesting
video shows
facts.
different sizes of animal eggs. We're starting off with really tiny eggs.
Okay.
So obviously, these ones are no bigger than a Tic Tac. But don't worry, guys. We're gonna get much, much bigger.
Wow, okay.
Platypus, I didn't know platypus had really tiny eggs.
Damn.
Sea turtles, yes, okay.
American marlins,
Quail
quail.
eggs. Now, have you guys tried quail eggs? I definitely have, and they're very, very tasty. Chicken eggs, the average, that's the standard.
That's
for
the
eggs,
biggest
right?
one.
Crocodile eggs, they look like Tic Tacs, honestly.
Kiwi,
eggs,
damn.
how do they even come out of that? Of the kiwi
A
bird?
flamingo, I'm guessing.
Okay, dragon eggs, I didn't know they existed. Okay, I thought it was a mammoth, and mammoth could lay eggs, but obviously it don't. It was a mammoth bird.
Xenomorph, what the
So we're getting in territories where these animals don't exist, and Godzilla egg is taller than a human.
What the hell?
Personas que ganaron superpoderes después de trágicos accidentes. Parte 2. Natasha Denkina, una mujer rusa nacida en el año 1987. A los 10 años tuvo que ser operada de apendicitis y eso cambió completamente su vida. Después de la operación, Natalia afirmaba que tenía visión de rayos X. Como nadie la creía, unos médicos la llevaron a un hospital de niños para ver si sus poderes eran reales. Para sorpresa de todos, diagnosticó correctamente a todos los niños. Su visión de
Skeleton?
X era real. Ahora se dedica a ayudar a las personas y a los médicos a encontrar enfermedades. Cuando Ben Underwood nació, parecía un chico completamente sano. Pero a los 3 años, por culpa de una enfermedad, le tuvieron que extirpar los 2 ojos. Pero a partir de ese suceso desarrolló la ecolocalización. Ben podía ver a la perfección con sus oídos y podía hacer cualquier tipo de cosa como una persona sin problemas de visión.
I know those are all people with I guess new abilities and something that they had gained. You're piecing together the story, Seekers, man. We learned that skill together. If you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker, seeking the truth. I really appreciate the support, man. Make sure you guys comment down below. Follow me on my social medias. Subscribe to the channel. You guys gonna catch in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.